when you release the need and desire to be multiple spirits that are within you, when you step into your Godhead and identify that you are now whole, there is no need for you to have a desire or need met based on the fact that you're no longer separated. Your soul is no longer fragmented in the process of you needing to satisfy all these different spirits. You don't have to play dress up anymore. You don't have to be double-minded, because now you are one. You are whole within yourself. So when you feel the need to have to go and entertain multiple individuals and lie to this one and lie to that one, it becomes less a desire or need or want, because now you have stepped into your wholeness, your divinity, your Godhead, your completeness. So when you look at situations and situationships and individuals, and there's a need of running from this one to that one to this one to that one, because that person already is fragmented within themselves. They're not whole. So they're looking for each and every individual to satisfy a need or desire of what's already fragmented within them. I look at my situation along the, I don't want to say along in comparison, but I look at my own life and I look at my siblings. And when we do have moments where we are trying to connect with each other, I don't even say try. You have those moments when it hits, when all the negativity, all of the gist and all of the angst and all of that just kind of just like evaporates. And y'all are having moments where, God is sitting in your presence and y'all are having deep connective conversations. Connective, I'm thinking about connective tissue, but y'all have deep conversations where y'all are literally vibing and sitting in a realm of your own at that moment in essence of time, and it seems like everything just kind of dwindles away. Those connections that you have when you speak to people and it's like day turns into night, but it doesn't matter that the light has escaped from the room, because you guys are vibing. It's a form of creation of a realm that's happening, that's existing within that moment. It's like the vibration of the energy that you guys are both creating is so magnitude and so thick, and not thick in a negative way, but thick in a good way, like a healthy thick, and it's creating and establishing something. When we look at how we don't release the healing wounds, the child wounds, and we go back into reflections of thinking, I'm good, but you're not, because you're using other vices to step in and give you the falsity of thinking that there's power, giving you the falsity of thinking that you're happy, when what happens is overindulgence. You're chasing something that was exhilarating and fun and amazing the first time, and you want it to happen over and over and over again, because you're losing so much insight of who you are, because you never healed. And not you indirectly, just in stating, but it's a need of knowing that, hey, if I can heal from these child wounds, if I can allow myself to step in and go through the journey of healing, no matter how painful it is, no matter how many times I have to deal with self-actualization, no matter how many times I have to deal with accountability, no matter how many times I have to look in the mirror at myself, no matter how many times I have to revise the plan, revise the design, reparent myself, I know that I'm going to go through this in order to be in betterment for me. And I don't think the karma can stop. I think the karma just continues to happen in the process of knowing that people have made some faulty decisions based on selfish needs, wants, and desires. And instead of doing the healing, what they chose to do was project the pain that they feel inside onto others. When I look back at my own abuse that I have went through as a child and even as an adult, my need was never to project that onto anyone else. My need was and desire was to find a way to protect the innocent, right? The innocence and the innocent, right? So, and it's separate because of the fact that the innocence is the child. Either it be an actual human child or either it be the inner child. And the innocent are individuals who are innocent in the party that had nothing to do with what was happening to them, right? But when we look at that too, is it really happening to you or is it happening for you? Because pressure makes diamonds, right? Pressure busts pipes, right? So in order for you to receive that pressure continuously, something is being created within you. I saw something online when the girl was saying it's painful to have to dissolve the old you to become the new you. And it makes you think about when an artist is chiseling at a piece of marble or stone in order to create something, or when you as a designer coming towards a canvas, either it be digital or it be actual physical canvas, and what you're trying to bring to fruition from your mind. And the point is to heal. The more you're healing, the more you're realizing, the self-actualization, the more accountability in the process of healing is betterment for you. Granted, like I said earlier, the karma is there, but I feel like the karma helps you to understand that, hey, this happened, these things occurred, regardless of the bad decisions. And I don't even categorize as bad decisions. Regardless of the decisions that was made, it's still helping individuals to learn. And granted, I look back at all the horrible things that had happened to me, but at the same time, I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't experience those things, if I didn't go through those things. So it's like the pain and the process of having people project so much negativity on you or go out their way to harm you or, sizzle out your light. At the same time, it strengthens your inner man. It strengthens your strong man. It strengthens your spirit. So when we don't heal our inner wounds, either it could be a mother wound or whatever parent wound or a childhood wound, and I believe they want you to stay in a space where you're not healed, because if you're not healed, then they can feed. And you say, well, why would they? Because they need that negativity. They need they need you in a low vibrating state. They need you in a place where you can't vibrate higher. Because if you're next to people, like I was at the library yesterday, and I said I wasn't even going to talk about this, but something came into the library, and I already knew when she came in. I felt her before she even came in the library. I already knew who she was. Like, not physically knew who she was, but I knew what was in her spirit. And as she stayed in the library, it confirmed what she was. But the whole point in the process is to not get you to vibe higher. Because think about the impact and the influence that you have on another individual, your community, people that share the same space as you, in your passing, in your daily visits. Your higher vibration, and if you're that close to God and you're vibrating at that level, it has an effect on other individuals around you. Like, it has an effect on your community. It has an effect on your workplace. It has an effect on other people. Because that energy that you're highly vibrating in is contagious. And not like in a bad way, but contagious in a good way. Because people are able to sit. What they said is, it's like aura farming. Like, imagine you buy a farm and your land is just bountiful and prosperous and beautiful and amazing. The other farmers who are not that far in acre can see that. If you come and you buy a home, your home and your lawn is gorgeous around, and it's very manicured, very well tamed. You're painting the paint job on your house, everything looks very beautiful, and you vibrate in that high energy. I think back to when I was in Harlem, and one of the ladies and the brownstone over from mine, from my family's, she had all these beautiful plants just sitting outside on her, along her steps. And I would stop and talk to her, and she would talk to me about the plants. We just talk about everything else and what's going on or whatever like that. But this older lady was giving life to the neighborhood. The beauty and the essence of her devotion to the parents, to her devotion to the plants, her love that she was pouring into this, like, it made people stop because it was just all along her steps. And then when you communicate with her, such a beautiful spirit, such an enrichment soul, like, and enrichment, enriched soul. So when you have these little individuals that are placed in areas that are full of heavy demonic activity, that are full of a lot of sad individuals, it uplifts it. You know, it's like they say, like a rose grows throughout the concrete, and it's like it still uplifts it. So instead of we looking at it like, well, one bad apple spoils the bunch, what about the whole concord of apples that is still growing? You know, I say try to look at it from a positive view instead of looking at it from a negative view, and see the insightfulness of that. Even though it's hard out here and there's a lot of entities that are coming for you, at the end of the day, you know that you're doing something right. And also, like I always tell you, they can't really physically touch you. They can do other things that are step out of the spiritual laws and step out of the physical laws by trying to find ways to harm you. But at the end of the day, justice prevails, and it comes in to collect. And it's unfortunate that sometimes people, karma is dwindled down to their children. But I also think that's why a lot of them go out and they have so many children with randoms. But I don't think that they're picking randoms to have children with. I believe that they're picking individuals who have strong sense of light and a strong connection to God, and they're having their children with them. And therefore drops that karma off with that child. And it becomes the same repeat over and over and over. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And if they've done what they've done in order to not ever have to leave this realm, then they're saved. But at the same time, they're really not, because God is in control. So that karma is going to come, because there's balance that needs to be withheld. And when we step back and we look at the fact that balance needs to be withheld, the scales will be balanced. And you can't escape that, because at the end of the day, even though they may act in accordance of thinking that they're God-like or thinking that they're divine-like, but they're still fallen. They're still damned. So justice will come in and balance everything out. So with that need to be said, focus on healing. And as painful as it is, and I know to have to take steps back, to go back into moments where you felt powerless, where you felt abandoned, where you felt hopeless, and to have to go back and visit that and put down the drugs and put down the alcohol and stop all the looselessness and start cleansing yourself. Start facing your fears. Start facing the pain. Start facing everything that makes you want to chase something in order to make it go away. Face it. Because I spoke to a sibling one time, and the sibling was explaining to me about, well, why am I seeing these things? I said, you're seeing these things because there's a need for you to go and have to address it. It almost pushes you. But yeah, it does. It kind of almost pushes you into a flashback moment where you're back in that moment of feeling like you are that child that was being hurt. Or you are back in that relationship where you was being abused. or you're back at that job where things were happening to you and you tried to get some assistance, but nobody wanted to help you. So every time you're pushed back into these positions, you're placed right back into those moments in that time. It's not a need of somebody's playing with you or trying to message you. It's a need of seeing which choice you're going to make, because I believe in that moment there's a bit of a temptation, right? And what I would do is just smoke. And that didn't help. It felt good for a moment, but it's like after I would stop and the weed would, suffice and I would no longer have the high, it was back in the same energy all over again. So if I keep you in a cycle of consistently showing you, how much time do I have? Okay. Of showing you your pain, your hurt over and over and over again. You have a choice right there in that moment to decide, am I going to go drink, smoke, do whatever, or am I going to focus on trying to understand how I feel in this moment? How does this make me feel, happen to see this, relive this, right? Like a PTSD, right? Can I go to somebody and talk about it? Can I pray about it? Can I work out? Can I identify with my feelings and hold myself, not, I won't say hold yourself accountable, but at the same time, staying somewhere and being a part of being able to have to be abused, and knowing that in that moment you had nowhere to go or you had no outlet, right? Can also make you feel hopeless. And then at that time, it make you feel less than, right? So instead of you holding on to the pain, you want to try to approach these flashbacks and approach this pain in a sense of understanding that you're no longer in that moment, right? You're no longer around that person, or you no longer identify as that hurt child anymore, right? So you identify with what you felt. You identify what you went through. You identify with the flashback. You identify with everything. And then you identify also with your feelings in that moment. How does it make you feel to go back to that mentally? To feel like it's happening to you at that moment in the same space, time, and continuance, right? And then you pour into yourself. You can go into reading scripture. You can go into praying. You can go into just having a conversation with God. You can go into a place of gratitude that you were able to not only survive it, but also thrive from whatever had occurred and what happened to you. And that you're making the right steps in order for you to be a better person. And you're going to make sure that you make the right decisions so that you yourself will, one, never be the abuser, never be the attacker, never be the culprit. And also that you're not a victim because you survived all of this stuff. So instead of picking up a vice in order to push away the pain, you want to identify with it, acknowledge where you're at right now in the physical present moment, and understand that that's a past activity. And then also look at the benefits of how it's going to better you for your future. Because you're going to, one, be able to recognize it when it's happening to somebody else. Two, you're going to be able to help someone who's also going through it. And three, you survived it. So when there is identification, accountability, there's also gratitude for yourself. And what I've learned about all the things that I've went through and all the things that I'm currently going through, gratitude is an amazing energy booster. And it also connects you into that pipeline of love. And even if you feel like you don't have it in your environment or in your community or in your family, you can still tap into it with yourself. There's no way that you cannot love on yourself. If you speak in gratitude to God, you can also speak gratitude to yourself. Do things that make you feel happy. And like I had said to you guys last time, focus on certain things that you did in your childhood when you could have thought, oh, that was just my way of dealing or coping. But at the same time, I look back how I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. Very creative stuff that I was doing. I was making clothes and things like that out of like Barbie doll clothes and random pieces of stuff and all the stuff I was doing, right? And it may bring you to a space where it brings you back to your happy place. But at the same time, find something also that's going to help you to connect to your body, that's going to help you keep your soul intact, and that's also going to make your inner child happy. Because like I said before, like when we talk about ancestors, we talk about past on loved ones, your inner child, like your child is still an ancestor as well, because it still dwells within you, it still lives within you. So find ways to heal from the pain instead of consistently seeing the pain, reliving the pain, and then trying to find a band-aid to help you cover up the pain. And no matter what somebody projects upon you, that's not your problem, because at the end of the day, they have to heal. And a lot of times people are projecting such negativity and pain on you because they have not healed themselves, and they don't understand how you get to walk around knowing all the things that you've been objectified to and don't end up like them. But that's what the devil likes to do. I want you to be as mean and as negative and as horrible as what I feel, because misery loves company. So I want to pull you down from that cloud. I want to pull you down from that high vibration. I want to pull you down from a space where you feel like you're nothing, because that individual feels like they're nothing. So they're continuously going to project that upon you in order to make you think that's what you are. But as one of my siblings said to me, don't let somebody trick you out your spot. So vibrate high. Continue to open up that telephone line, that pipeline to God, and start loving on yourself. And I'm not talking about, loving on yourself like that. I'm talking about loving on yourself, doing things that make you feel good. Even if it's wearing a certain color. Like when I tutor the kids and they talk about their favorite colors, and we chat about certain things like that, and they tell me how much they love the color. And it's like to see a child get so happy about just discussing a color. Like, switch it up. If you feel that you're stepping in something where you're consistently under protective mode, switch it up and start stepping into spaces where you are loving and identifying with the fact that your pain does not identify with who you are at this moment. You get to switch up your storyline. Anyways, let me go. I love you. I truly, truly do. You got this. Keep going. Don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going. I'll speak to you later. Bye. Kisses, hugs, everything, because you deserve it. And even if you don't deserve it, well, you deserve it. I love you.